Hey there boys and girls, Lucky here and welcome back to another CSGO video. So with the recent updates, actually many people were confused about what specifically changed and how it does affect your gameplay, because many people are now complaining, well, it's easier now, it's better for silvers, yada yada yada. So I thought I might actually make a video about it to address the things that actually changed and show you guys. So let's start out with the bare basics that many people seem to not get when they're playing Counter-Strike. So right here we are on the map Recoil Master Weapon Practice, and all weapons in CSGO do have spread. So you may ask, what is spread? So if you hit up the console and you type in cl_weapon_debug_score_accuracy 2, you will see the same result as I would be doing while shooting right here. So what we can see right here, we exactly aimed at this spot, and this is basically a circle which is showing us in which kind of radius the bullet can land. That's called bullet deviation. So if we're aiming right here in the middle, and we're just walking to that point now, we're able to see that it did not hit right in the middle right here, but it deviated from its original path right in the middle right here to this point. That's the first thing people have to understand. And as you saw, the AK isn't actually quite accurate. Actually, it's very inaccurate. So if we see, it's never really landing completely in the middle. I mean, of course it sometimes does, but not very often. That's why many people say when they're firing from pit and dust long to A side that they're not hitting the head when they're just firing and firing and firing. Because as you can see, the bullets, they're not always hitting right in the middle. It's random. They're just somewhere within this circle. So now that we got this out of the way, we can talk about the recoil pattern. Because with the recent update, tapping and bursting has been buffed, while spraying has been nerfed by 8%. So if we take a look at this, this is the spray pattern, or that's the reverse kind of motion you have to do in order to get kind of perfect bullets. Now, if you would have no spread at all, so no bullet deviation right here, this would mean, so actually just for this right here, it's also called spread, and this would mean if we would have no spread at all and would be perfectly accurate, by reversing this pattern completely with the right motion and right timing, all the bullets would land in the same spot right here. But as you can see, they are not. So they're always deviating from the original source. So if we just go full auto right here, we can see the circles are just getting bigger and bigger. So I'll do it once again with the whole magazine right here on this side. You see, the bullets are getting bigger. Now, if we just fire quickly, once again, like this, they're staying small. So, what basically happens, let me just fire once again, if you keep holding your spray, you just keep holding down mouse 1, you can see the circles will increase in size up until a certain point, like right here, and then they kind of stay like this. This has been increased in order to nerf spraying by 8%. So this circle all the way at the end right here, this one right here, this one was moving, the big one, this one has been increased about by 8%. So it's not that big of a deal. First of all, if you haven't killed a guy by the time when your bullets are up here, then what are you doing anyways? You shouldn't have been able to spray that many bullets in a row without being killed. Well, the other guy was probably just as bad as you then, because you normally do not need more like 4 or 5 bullets or just a 10 bullet spray or burst or something like that in order to kill the enemy guy. Of course, multiple opponent spray downs, of course, sure, you would need to fire more bullets then, but then again, it's very unlikely to hit them in the first place unless they're anti-eco rounds, where you're just kind of firing at guys with no armor and they're all kind of clogged up into the same spot. So that's the first thing. Now, people were complaining about that they couldn't spray really well now. Of course, it's a little worse, but it's not really all that much. It's still kind of like this. So if you were good at spraying previously, it shouldn't really affect you all that much. Now let's talk about the pistols real quick, because many people were saying now pistols will be OP. So if we once again take a look at the spread or the bullet deviation, we can see the pistols, even the USPS, they are not super accurate. This means their base inaccuracy is high enough to not really be affected by the new recoil changes. And besides, the fast tapping and bursting, like this, only really has been changed for the metagame rifles like the AK and the M4. So this means other weapons will only be affected by the recoil changes, but not by the recoil reset changes that basically enables you to tap faster and to burst faster. I will also link a video in the description down below by 3ClicksPhilip. He basically made an analysis for you guys that you should just check out as well, because people are saying now it's way easier because you can just tap, 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 and just kill the enemies like this. And they say basically that it's taking you less skill to do so. In the first place, if you're going to spray a guy, you're not spraying him like this. You want to start at the head, you're always going for the headshot first, and if you're missing the headshot, you're continuing to commit to a spray and trying to get him like this. You never completely go out and commit to the spray right away. You always want to get the headshot. So it hasn't really been nerfed like all that much. It doesn't change the meta too much. I mean, it does change it to a degree where all fighting styles, all firing rhythms now have their proper place because all of them are viable. Previously it was just every gunfight pretty much was spraying because it was the most effective way to kill an opponent. Now they made it so that after the 7th bullet, I think, or starting at the 7th bullet, the 8% more bullet deviation or spread kicks in, so you're less accurate when firing. And of course, the longer you fire, the longer it'll take you to basically reset your recoil to be accurate again like this. Actually, tapping has been buffed by, I think, 50 milliseconds or something like that. Don't quote me on that. I'll, once again, the video's linked in the description down below. So it's not all that much. Of course, you can fire faster, like tapping with this right here, as we can see. But if you're tapping too fast, so let me just reload real quick, you can see that it will just do kind of the same recoil pattern again. See? It's not that different from the big one we had right here or this one right here. Now, bursting is kind of an in-between thing. It's kind of like a short spray, of course. And if you just do like burst up until the 6th bullet, I think, you're still getting like the benefits of the buff. So that's basically up until the rounds you should spray at, or best burst at, in order to be accurate. So in general, this update made the game more skillful. Spraying after the 7th bullet takes a little bit more skill now, but before that it's more accurate now, meaning also that tapping and bursting has been buffed. So once again, previously it was just all firing and spraying and trying to control the recoil just like that, and it wasn't really a lot about game sense and thinking which scenario, which fighting style was the proper one. Now you actually have to decide which kind of style you're picking for the situation, for the distance, just in general. So overall, the game has been improved. There's now more room for skill, it has a higher skill ceiling, there's a more dynamic play available now in the game, which enables you to do a couple of more certain things in order to be successful, given the situation. So I hope this really kind of cleared some of the confusion for many people. I know that in my first video I was kind of fast going over it and many people did not get the point of it. So I hope this video really now explains it, that the game takes more skill now. Spraying is still viable, but now also so is tapping and bursting. And tapping and bursting is not noob play, or like people were complaining about, because that's the raw aim. Like this, firing to the head. If you can do that, you should always be superior than a guy who's just doing this, even if he has learned the recoil pattern. But yeah, so I think this pretty much wraps it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and Lucky Skill Faker out.